Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We are thrilled to have in the studio literally a language icon, not just San Diego, regionally, the country, the world, the solar system, and probably everything in between, and that is Richard Lederer. He is the president of Verbivore, Inc., author of many books, columnist in the Union Tribune. He's a humorist. He is a poker expert, but probably not something... are you a good gardener?
No way.
Very good. I wanted to find something that he wasn't great at. How you doing, Richard?
I'm doing great to be here, and life is beautiful.
How many books have you written?
Well, I have 60, and actually I'm in my 85th year, and 6 of them are in the last 3 years. Stop me before I write again.
Well, that's not going to happen. Of course, you're going to be writing again and so forth. Have you always had a love for language, even as a young kid?
I have. I just always loved words. I was an avid reader. I was editor of my junior high school literary magazine, my high school newspaper. And if you're lucky enough, Drew, what you want to do is your whole life something that comes, well, easily and certainly naturally to you, and work your butt off to get better at it over the decades, and that has been the case.
Well, and with you, and you and I have known each other for a while, and in the same space, and know a lot of the same people. You're always love to be continuous improvement. How do I do some things different? How do I look at things different? You could write 4 million columns, and you're always thinking about, could I have done that differently? Or I don't know. Talk about that.
Yes, almost always.
Yeah.
So with each book, my writing gets a little better.
Right.
I make better decisions. Practice makes perfect. Should I have bifurcated, divided that sentence? Should I have combined the 2 sentences? Gee, what about the order of that? Gosh, in that other book, it wasn't quite the right word. I know a better word. So you just want to get better, and you want to blow up the distance, Drew, between who you are and what you do, and do what you're put on this planet to do. And that has happened to me. So I have this piston energy in my 85th year because I love what I do.
Well, you not only love what you do, you love to do something that's going to benefit other folks. You've, again, part of your DNA as well.
Right.
And whether it's the Council on Literacy and just, knowing you in recently, there's not a group that, hey, you know what, everyone knows Richard Lederer. He's funny. He's engaging. Do you mind if you come and do X, Y, and Z? And I know you. If you were available, boom. You don't even think twice about it.
I'll just give you a concrete example.
Please.
Tomorrow, and of course we're recording now, but tomorrow I have 2. And the first one is North County veterans, military veterans up in Oceanside, writers, a writing group, and I'm going up to work with them on their grammar and style. Right from there, I will go to San Marcos, and under the auspices of a board member for Oceanside Theater, I had performed there, auctioned myself off. She chose poker, 8 ladies, and I will teach them beginning poker. As is often the case, an island of preposterone surrounded by a sea of estrogenius. And that's kind of a typical day. And you know what? It's who I am.
Well, it's... You thrive on that stuff. Are you kidding me? And I can't imagine you not doing those things. You'd be doing it for the next 85 years.
Please. I hope so.
While you're at it, we're chatting with them.
No, I do plan to live forever. So far, so good. Well, so who knows?
Listen, I'm not discounting anything that Richard Lederer puts his mind to do. We're chatting with author, humorist, columnist, all-around great guy, language expert, maven, so to speak, running out of vocabulary, which is not true. because I'm going to have to go to the thesaurus and throw a few more on it. I'm Drew Schlosberg, Cloudcast Media. Something that's near and dear to both of our hearts is the San Diego Council on Literacy. I've been involved in it pretty much since its inception because it was founded by the former publisher of the San Diego Union Tribune and Copley Press, Mrs. Helen Copley, with Brian Bilbray at the time. He was a city councilman in South Bay, and our good friend Jose Cruz is the CEO, and he's been involved almost since its inception. Talk about that relationship you have with the Council on Literacy.
Well, I've done a lot of work for them, and I'm teaming with Jose and Charles Parisi, of course, very much connected with this organization, to produce. I've just recorded the first 10 audio curriculum discs that will be available to high school students in San Diego and elsewhere and their teachers. And I myself was an English teacher for many years, and everything from etymology, meaning history of word and phrase origins, to literature, to poetry, to literacy, puns, etc. And what great fun, because it expands through my lifelong mission of teachership.
Yeah. Well, listen, the first teacher is your parents, and they're your forever teacher. And of course, I throw this in as well, and your kids teach you as much as you teach them, I bet, in many different ways in that aspect of it. And it's just this, absolute thirst you have for learning. And you can't fake that. You just have a thirst for learning, whether it's language or it's poker or whether it's something in between in that. The series you're talking about with Charles Parisi, CEO and founder of Cloudcast, and Jose Cruz is called Lederer on Language, right? How many episodes are you going to do?
10.
So you're done with all 10?
No, I've just recorded the first.
Oh, you got 9 more to go.
Because again, I want to get better and better. So I want to listen to those early ones.
Right.
Was my pace right? What about my diction? And so on. But as Henry Adams, the grandson and great-grandson of presidents, once wrote, "A teacher affects eternity. No one knows where his influence stops." So a project like this really expands who I am and my mission in life.
Right, exactly. I think we may have chatted about this either offline or maybe at another interview. The biggest kick I get out of the books that you have written, they're all funny because of my background in journalism. When you were writing just some gems by students, is the Pulitzer Prize.
A Pulitzer Prize.
Right.
That was a student blooper.
Of course. Pullets. Surprise. Of course, he was talking about the Pulitzer Prize, which is the venerable award. It's the Academy Award of Journalism for those folks. Then you have a whole book chock full of those, do you not?
I do. And by the way, thank you for saying Pulitzer Prize, because so many people say Pulitzer Prize, because pronunciation is another area I work in.
Joseph? St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Yeah, exactly.
Anguished English is the fuel that runs the motor of my career.
Right.
It sold more than 1 million copies. My new book has a number of bloopers in them. And it's language and learning dressed up to have fun, bloopers. And then they're inadvertent mistakes, Drew. And if it's advertent entendre, then it's called a pun. I happen to have been elected International Punster of the Year. Drew, I believe that a good pun is like a good steak, a rare medium well done, such as Drew's show, community show. And the fact that your focus is on community, we're social animals.
That's right.
And community is very important to us.
Well, I've been fortunate enough. I've been doing this since 2007. It was called Internet Radio at the time. And, the key is Have fun, heaven forbid.
Yes.
But, we were talking about something, this is near and dear to your heart, and it is to mine too. The amount of things I learned from the guests, I've had probably 5,000 plus interviews, doesn't stop. And the wide variety of guests that we have here. Now, usually they're C-level types, and that's fine. But they're all different walks of life.
Yes.
They're humble as can be, and you learn so much. So I absolutely been the beneficiary of this show much more than my guests have, in that area. One of the things when we come back from break, I'm going to be, you and I have talked about this before. You're a bit of lukewarm on this, maybe lukecold. I'm going to bring up, I'm tenacious as you are too, Richard. So I'm going to keep this as a surprise, and what I'm going to bring up and see if you can think about it. Sort of ties to not quite puns, but malaprops. But we'll get that when we return with Richard Lederer. He is an author, a humorist, a columnist, a great guy, everything else in between, a do-gooder, okay? And wants to help out our community, has been doing it for his 80 plus years on this planet. And when we return with Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, we're going to see if Richard will take Drew's idea and move forward with it. And you'll just have to wait and hear the second half of the show to find out what that is. I'll be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing great things to San Diego for more than 60 years. I am with Richard Lederer, author, humorist, columnist, speaker, philanthropist, do-gooder, and everything in between, talking about some of the cool things he has going on. One of them is a special 10-part series with Charles Parisi of Cloudcast Media and Jose Cruz with the San Diego Council on Literacy called Lederer on Language, a series of CDs for high school English students and their teachers. But this is the next book I want you to write. And maybe you've already written it, but I don't think you have. You are the expert in language, of course, and there's that famous shirt that you wear that talks about I am editing your grammar. Well,
I'm silently correcting your grammar, which I am, Drew.
I'm glad you are.
But silently is the key adverb.
That's right. That's just got to be very difficult for you. You need to do a book on malaprops. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Well, all right. I respect you so much that I have. And that is in a book of mine called The Joy of Names.
Okay.
So Mrs. Malaprop was a famous heroine in 1775, Richard Brinsley Sheridan's The Rivals, and she just kept messing up words. So that is part of a chapter on eponyms, which may become part of the series now that you've mentioned it.
Okay.
And people's names that have become words and usually get lowercase. So, for example, gerrymander is from Elbridge Gerry, hard G, because I taught his great-great-great-granddaughter, Louisa Gerry, and he manipulated districts. He was the governor of Massachusetts, and when they had a cartoon of him, the artist drew a strange-looking district, and the artist added tail, claws, and a head, and, a salamander. No, it's a gerrymander. Then, of course, the G softened. So that, guillotine, all sorts of wonderful ones. And so I've done it, so you're very prescient, except I've done it already.
Very, very good. And as we know that, we look at some of our, friendly, funny athletes that do a lot of this. Our friend Jerry Coleman,
yes,
the late Jerry Coleman. Colemanisms, absolutely. He slid into second with a stand-up double. We can't slide into anything. And, bless his heart, he was a wonderful guy, great service to our country.
Wonderful.
He was a
good player, too.
Listen, MVP, and I think won the World Series, played for the Yankees, those venerable Yankee teams, and so forth. Yogi Berra, of course, just known from his Berraisms.
Dizzy Dean.
Dizzy. Well, and it's funny because I think the Dizzy was certainly part of what he would do. Did he announce for the St. Louis Cardinals?
Yes.
Okay.
And he played.
He was a Hall of Fame pitcher.
And the famous one, a headline blooper is he was trying to break up a double play and he got hit by the ball in the head.
He did.
Taken to the hospital, and the headline read X-rays of Dizzy Dean's head reveal nothing.
Exactly. It's like he's having brain surgery. It's exploratory. So one of the
echoes.
Yeah, right. Exactly. One of those lines. But that's what makes language fun. You know that as well. And of course, if you were to give some advice, someone goes, God, I'd love to write a column like Richard. He looks like he's having so much fun doing it, and you can tell it just oozes out of your writing that you're having fun doing this. Instead of being pained, oh my God, another column. What am I going to spit out over here? Well, you can tell it's in your writing, and so forth. But if you were to give some advice to people who want to become writers, whether they're columnists, whether they're short story, whether they're novelists, whether they're whatever they want to do, what advice would you give them?
Okay, thank you. And notice he did use the subjunctive mood if you were to, but I hadn't, so it's condition contrary to fact.
I was going to say the same thing. If I were
a rich man, well, I'm not a rich man, so that. All right, so here are the advice. First of all, write, damn it. I mean, write. Don't just talk about it, do it. And don't compare your writing to books you read, because those books didn't start out like that. You start off with kind of crap, and you try to get better and better at it with each different revision. Perfection is the greatest enemy to writing. And that's what gives you writer's block, because you're comparing the finished page. So write. Second, try to discover what kind of writing you are. In high school, when I was editor of the newspaper, said, Richie, when are you going to write the great American novel? And I said, never. I completely suck at dialogue, setting, character, motivation, plot development. I'm not connected enough with the real world to do that stuff, but boy, do I love explaining. Third, you are in a writing community, and in San Diego, we have a number of groups. I happen to be a life member of San Diego Writers and Editors, and you go with groups and discuss and have them read your stuff, and they're going to see things that you haven't. So that's just for starters, and don't give up, because there's a lot of rejection in this business, but you keep trying. I was 49 when my first big mass market book came out, and that was Anguished English. 49. So don't give up.
How many books were turned down before then?
A number, shall we say.
Well, Truman Capote's, you talk about his, famous book, and, that was, was that Catch-22? Was that, which one?
No, that's Joseph Heller.
Okay, so what was Truman Capote? Oh, in Cold Blood.
In Cold Blood.
Yeah, what was that, turned down, 55 times by publishing houses or something like that?
Let me give you the classic example.
Yeah.
J.R. Rowling,
okay.
The Harry Potter, turned down again and again, and you know how it got accepted? The daughter of, I think it was the Simon & Schuster boss, read it, 8 years old, and said, Daddy, I like this, and they took it.
But see, but you're talking about persistence, okay?
Yes.
It is so spot on. And I know you didn't say this in one of the things a great writer should do or does, but I know you mean it, and that is read. Read, and read even more. And that gets you that vocabulary, that gets you...
So the style, the cadence,
everything.
the music.
Yeah.
You see how others are doing it, of course.
Right, exactly. So we got about a minute or so here to go. I know you're just getting started with Lederer on language, and who knows where this is going to bring you with Cloudcast. My business partner, Charles, loves working with you, of course. And, what's great about relationships and meeting folks, you have only known Charles recently.
Right.
But you're working together as if you've been working together for 25 years, and that's the beauty of, this type of work. It's the beauty of what we get a chance to do in our Spotlight on the Community shows. What advice would you give to people in this shift to this field, podcasting?
What advice would I give?
Yes.
In terms of relationships or?
Anything with podcasting, because it's going to be with us for a long time.
It is. Well, you just want to extend yourself beyond the confines of your body. And that's what Charles and Jose are trying to do, and to make the world a better place as we pass through.
Right, exactly. Got about a minute or so to go. Any final comments?
Well, you just never know when you reach out. So my connection with Charles is Jose interviewed me, and Charles happened to hear it and say, wow, and said, wow, let's get this guy. And the Union Tribune, what happened is that I was displaying my books at Successful Aging, and Jeff Light, the editor and now publisher of the Union Tribune, came up to me. Are you Richard Lederer? Last time I checked. Why aren't you writing for us? Jeff, you haven't asked me. Let's have lunch and find out. And because I was there, you put yourself out there, good things happen.
Right. And of course, I worked for the San Diego Union Tribune for almost as long as you've been alive. And I started consulting in 84, then got hired in, when was it, when did I get hired? 92, and left in 2020. So that's in my blood, is be able to chat, tell stories, and so forth. I never knew I'd be doing this on this venue. I was a sports writer on this. How do people get a hold of you? If people said, I love this interview, I like this guy,
sure,
I need them to speak to the Drew Schlosberg Garden Club, and there isn't one, by the way.
I have a garden club coming up.
There you go. How do they get a hold of you?
I can do flowers.
How do they get a hold of you?
Email, it's at the bottom of my column, Richard H. Lederer. You have to have the H for Henry. Lederer, it means leather worker, Richard H. Lederer at gmail.com. Email me, then we'll have a telephone conversation, and if I can serve you, I'll be there.
You can serve, you will serve. You've been doing great work for us for many. When I say us, this community of San Diego, the region, and so forth, and we're just looking forward to doing more stuff with you.
Yes, sir.
Consider that a done deal. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show on Cloudcast Media, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, doing great things to San Diego for more than 60 years, and it's an honor to be chatting with Richard Lederer, and we'll look forward to having you make a return appearance sooner than later.
At the drop of a request, sir.
And we'll look forward to it. You take care, Richard.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.